Title: Juanita's Call. Juanita had always known there was something different about her. Even as a child, she would dream dreams so vivid, so prophetic, that they would leave her trembling by morning. She could see events unfold days before they happened, conversations, accidents, warnings, but fear kept her silent. People didn't understand visions, and she didn't want to be labeled strange or too spiritual. Now in her mid-30s, Juanita worked as an administrative coordinator for a major nonprofit in the city. Outwardly, she was composed, competent, and well-liked by most of her colleagues. But beneath that calm exterior was a woman worn down by spiritual warfare. Her boss, Ms. Delacroix, was especially cruel, subtle, but relentless in her sabotage. She took credit for Juanita's work, rerouted important emails, and whispered rumors to leadership behind closed doors. Juanita tried to stay prayerful, but the pressure was constant. Back at home, on top of work, she wrestled with a deep internal struggle: the call to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. It had been tugging at her for years, but she ran from it. She didn't feel ready, she didn't feel worthy, and truthfully, she was scared. Scared of what people would say, scared of losing her job, scared of stepping out into the unknown. Then came the dreams. God showed her things clear, unmistakable revelations: a coworker's car accident, which happened a week later, a family member's illness, a conversation that hadn't yet happened. And yet each time she tried to deliver the message, fear bound her. What if they think I'm crazy? What if I get it wrong? She would freeze, only to feel the weight of disobedience afterwards. The guilt gnawed at her soul. But the worst part came at night. In the darkness, when the world was quiet and still, dark spirits would visit her. She would feel them before she saw them, a thick presence, cold and oppressive. They whispered lies into her ears, tempting her with old sins, seducing her with easy compromises. It's okay to quit, God won't mind. Just one night. You deserve to feel good. You'll never be good enough for God anyway. Sometimes she wanted to give in. Sometimes the pain of obedience felt too heavy to carry. But in those darkest moments, just as the temptation grew unbearable, something miraculous would happen. Light. Brilliant, holy light manifesting an angelic being burst into her dreams, dispelling the darkness. Angelic beings radiant and fierce would surround her. She couldn't always see their faces, but she felt their strength, their purity. They never spoke, but their presence rebuked the enemy and filled her with a strength she didn't know she had. She would wake up breathless but empowered, her soul reminded that God had not forgotten her. One night, after a particularly powerful dream, Juanita knew she couldn't run anymore. Tears streaming down her face, she fell to her knees in her bedroom and finally said it out loud: "Lord, I surrender. I'll do what you're asking of me." From that moment, everything changed. Slowly, she began to speak. The next time she had a vision, she delivered a trembling, but obedient. To her surprise, the person wept, saying, "I've been praying for a sign. That was it." Word began to spread. People began coming to her privately, asking for prayer, asking if God had shown her anything. Meanwhile, things at work reached a boiling point. Ms. Delacroix's manipulations became so overt that upper management started to take notice. A quiet investigation uncovered that she had been misusing company funds for over a year. Within weeks, she was dismissed. And Juanita? She was offered the position of director. Not only did she accept it, but she did so with the humility of someone who knew that promotion only comes from God. Today, Juanita preaches the gospel boldly. She ministers in churches, in boardrooms, and in back alleys. She tells her story about the darkness that tried to consume her and the God who delivered her. She teaches others how to discern God's voice, how to obey even when it's terrifying, and how to walk in their calling despite fear. Because now she knows. The call doesn't go away, but neither does the one who called her. Juanita finally became who she was, always meant to be God's messenger, God's vessel, and a living testimony that light always overcomes the dark.